Hey guys, it's Olivia and I'm back with another video. So recently I have been making a few YouTube tips on my channel, and basically I've been sharing knowledge that I have learned over the past almost 4 years that I've been doing YouTube. And while I don't claim to know everything, I definitely know a lot more than I knew almost 4 years ago. So I just wanted to share some of that knowledge with you, with any of you guys who may be just starting out and you're completely oblivious like I was when I first started out. So I just want to share some stuff that I've learned. So in this week's video, we're going to be talking about ads. So if you are newly into the YouTube Partner Program and or you are working towards it, this is probably something that you have questions about. So I'm going to answer the question today of how many ads is too many? How many ads should you put into one video? But before we get into the video, be sure to subscribe to my channel because I make new videos every Monday. I make anywhere from YouTube tips videos like this to rant videos to how to make money online videos. And with all that being said, let's get into this week's video. So we've all seen those videos where you bring it up and then on the bar where it shows you how much of the video has played, you see these yellow ticks. And I think that by now we all know that those yellow ticks are ads. And sometimes you'll see a 10-minute video with like 20 ads and you're like, what is this? This is crazy. And a lot of times you click right off. So having said that, I think we know that 20 ads on a 10-minute video is far too much, because that is an ad every 30 seconds and nobody wants your video to cut that often. Like, obviously they came to watch your videos because they wanted to hear what you had to say, and they can't hear what you have to say if the video cuts every 30 seconds. So one thing you should know is, in order to put ads in your video, like not just at the beginning and at the end, but to have mid-roll ads, is for your video to be 10 minutes or longer. So once your video is 10 minutes or longer, you can add as many ads as you want in the middle. But as we just established, putting too many is actually a turnoff. So you're not actually necessarily going to make more money just because you put more ads, because if people see all the ads, because people can see the ads, they can see the yellow ticks. So if people click on your video and then they see like yellow, 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 they just see tick after tick after tick, then they're just going to click off, meaning you're not going to make any money from any of those ads, because nobody's going to watch the ads, because once they saw how many they were and how greedy you were being by putting 20 ads in a 10-minute video, they clicked right off. So more ads doesn't necessarily equal more money. You need a balance. Another thing that I've noticed with filling your video with ads is, from my personal experience as a viewer, and if you have experienced something different, feel free to tell me down below, but whenever I watched a video where it just has all these yellow ticks, most of them don't play, if any of them. Like, if there's a 10-minute video with 20 mid-roll ads, sometimes maybe one of them will play, but a lot of the times none of them will play. Why? Because YouTube wants to keep people on the platform. YouTube wants to promote people and promote videos that are going to keep people on the platform. YouTube knows that if an ad plays every 30 seconds, you're going to leave the platform, or you're going to click off that video, and maybe you're going to be like, okay, that's enough YouTube for today, and then you're going to click and go to a different website. YouTube doesn't want that. YouTube doesn't want to drive you away from the website. So they're not going to play 20 ads in 10 minutes. They're not going to do it, because that's going to turn people away from the platform. So just because you added 20 ads to your video doesn't mean they're all going to play. So you're adding all these ads and being greedy for no reason, because none of the ads are going to play anyways, and then people are going to click off right as they see it. So you're going to make no money. One, if people watch all the way through, none of those ads are going to play anyways. Or what's more likely going to happen is nobody's going to watch your video all the way through because they saw all the ads on it. So too many ads. Not a good idea for so many reasons. So, how many ads should you put on a video that is longer than 10 minutes? This isn't a rule, but this is what I do. Since YouTube gives you the 10-minute threshold of now you can add more ads in the middle, for me, what I do is for every 10 minutes, I put one ad. So if I have a 10-minute video, there will be one mid-roll ad. If I have a 20-minute video, 2 mid-roll ads. 30-minute video, 3 mid-roll ads, etc. That is what I do. That is not a rule. You can put more than that. You could put for every 5 minutes, you put one ad. But I'm just telling you that for me, since YouTube has given like, oh, 10 minutes equals, there should be an ad in there somewhere. So for me, every 10 minutes, I add one ad. So if I had a 20-minute video, there would technically be 4 ads, one at the beginning, one at the end, and 2 in the middle. That is what I do. And so far, I have not had anybody complain about the amount of ads in my videos. I have seen videos where in the comments people are like, why are there so many ads, blah blah blah. I've never had anybody comment that, so I think that what I'm doing works well. And when I say one ad every 10 minutes, that doesn't mean that it's on the 10-minute mark and on the 20, on the 30. It just means there's going to be that many ads. So for example, if I have a 20-minute video, meaning I'm going to insert 2 ads, I might insert one at 6:42 and one at 17:37. It doesn't have to be on the actual 10-minute mark. It's just going to be 2 within that video, anywhere that I choose to put it. So now that I have given my definition of how much I would put in a video, where do you place said ads? I like to place ads in breaks. It's a pet peeve of mine when people put an ad mid-sentence. Like they'll be saying, and then there's an ad. And it's like, and then what? Why did you just put an ad there? Like, and then what? And then you have to sit for 10 seconds through this ad and then you forgot what they were talking about. So then when the ad finishes, then you have to double tap and then go back 10 seconds to remember what they were saying and then blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, no, why are you doing that? What I like to do is I like to put an ad where I take a breath or when I take a moment to say something. I like to put an ad in the space. I don't want to put an ad mid-sentence like there's an ad right there. And then there was an ad right there, right after I said was. Like, why are you going to do that? That's just annoying. Like, sometimes it doesn't always work out because if you edit your videos, then you tend to take out breaks. But sometimes in your talking, you have natural pauses. Therefore, I would put an ad in my natural pause. So I try to take out where I'm like, I wonder what I'm going to say next. Yeah, typically that's not left in a video. I tend to edit that out. So there aren't these long breaks where I'm like, okay, let me put an ad in those 2 minutes where I didn't say anything. No, but sometimes there's like a 2-second break where I'm like, and then I'll put the ad there. I'll put it on the breath. Because usually you take a breath between one point and the next point. So then I put an ad between the points. I'm not going to put an ad mid-sentence. I try my best not to do that. I don't think I've ever done that. And if I have, I apologize. But when I am placing my ads, I do it strategically. I do it in a way that works well for the viewer because I want you to have a good viewing experience. Therefore, I'm going to put it at a natural place. So yeah, I hope that answered your question. You don't have to go by what I say like it is a rule. For every 10 minutes, one ad. That's not a rule. No one said you had to do that. That's just what I do. And I've never had anybody complain about the amount of ads in my videos. Therefore, I think that it works well because I've never had any complaints about it. So yeah, that is my tip for this video. So just to recap. Don't put too many ads in your videos. Don't put one video every 30 seconds because 1, it's going to turn off people right as they see all the yellow ticks. And 2, YouTube isn't even going to play them anyways. So you're turning people away from your channel for no reason because you're not making money and now you're making your viewers upset. So that's one thing. Don't put too many ads. My personal rule that you don't have to follow, but what I do is for every 10 minutes of video, I put one mid-roll ad. And where should you place said ads? I like to place them in natural pauses in my speech because it just seems natural to put it there. And I don't want to put it mid-sentence and then you're trying to figure out what I said. So now you have to go back in the video and blah, blah, blah. I want it to be a good viewer experience. So I don't want you to have to be skipping around trying to remember what I said because I put an ad in the middle of my sentence. So those are my few tips when it comes to placing ads in your videos. I hope that this was helpful. If it was, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you think your friends will enjoy it, be sure to share it with them. All my social media links will be down below in case you want to follow me on there. Be sure to subscribe to my channel because I make new videos every Monday, and I'll see you next Monday with a new video.